What's up, everyone? Can y'all hear me? All right, we're going to wait for a few more people to get on here before we start. We're going to let a few more people hop on and then we'll start. Wow, this thing has a pretty bad lag on it. All right, a few more people and then we'll start. All righty, let's get started. So, I just want to start off by saying I really appreciate all of y'all supporting Invader Coffee. Y'all have done a ton of orders, and they're really good people. They're veterans, and they are it's a really outstanding business. So there's always going to be a 15% discount code in the description of every video. Try some of my favorites whiskey, and we'll go from there. We're also going to do a meetup after the holidays. So it's probably going to be middle of January, but we're going to do a meetup there in the Invader Coffee facility. So that'll be cool to meet a lot of you. All right. So we're going to try to do a live stream once a week. And the reason why is just because I want to connect with y'all more and just kind of have open conversations with y'all. But pretty much how I'm going to structure these is I'm going to talk a little bit about some stuff that's going on in America, and then I'm going to answer questions and just kind of roll from there. But first thing I want to talk about is the Pentagon just blocked the transition meetings, and a lot of people are saying it's because it's the holidays and they want everybody to just have a nice Christmas. But to me, that's Trump starting the process of martial law. And it's not going to be full on martial law where he shuts the whole country down or anything like that, but it's going to pretty much, in my opinion, what it's going to be is he's basically going to use the military to facilitate another election. And to me, that's what has to be done. There's a senator in Virginia. Her name is Amanda Chase, and she's basically just been telling Trump to declare martial law for, I think it's been a week now. And then he had the other guy who he pardoned, I forget his name, but he is pretty much the first one that said you've got to declare it, because otherwise, I mean, if he doesn't, I hope y'all understand that if Trump doesn't stop this, Biden is going to ruin this country. I mean, straight up going to ruin this country, from the economy, from the people who are in the military. I did a little video about kind of like my background and everything, and my channel has just been throttled lately. So a whole bunch of people didn't get updates and all that, but Man, I forgot where I was going there. But yeah, I did a video kind of about my background and all this stuff, and um, yeah, I mean it's going to get to a point in America if Biden gets in there where it's going to be a wasteland. People aren't going to want to live here. People are going to move out, and I mean, if let's just say this, if Biden gets in there somehow, some way, I probably will move too. Yep. I mean, there's it's realistically will never win an election again because he's going to legalize, I think it's 10 million illegal immigrants. That's the first thing he wants to do. Total crap. So, yeah, so pretty much, I mean, he's got to declare martial law. He has to stop it. Otherwise, we're pretty much all going to be lame ducks. So, another thing is Trump is asking pretty much every American to go protest. I think um, it's going to be in D.C. He says January 6th. He basically is going to have another rally, and he basically wants everyone there to protest. So I'm probably going to go out there. Um, and if we wanna try to schedule a meetup, a good buddy of mine, Black Scout Survival. I'm gonna talk with him and see what he wants to do, if he wants to go out there. But yeah, that's gonna be crazy. So I got one thing I wanted to talk about with y'all is censorship as well, and kind of what that looks like and how we are, just kind of in a spot where we're like in kindergarten and we're being put in timeout. And I have kind of a funny story. I mean, it's not that funny because I work hard to put stuff out there for y'all. And so I was on Facebook, and this goes into the whole Kyle Rittenhouse thing. I was on Facebook, and I posted a video, and this was months ago, about Kyle Rittenhouse and the whole situation. And I didn't really go super deep into like the gore and the details of it, but I just talked about um, you know, just kind of how he was, basically, I mean, a lot of people agree with exactly what he did. I am one of those people. So that's basically what I said in the video. And so the next day, Facebook sends me an email, and they say, your whole thing is going to be shut down if you don't take this video off. I didn't take it off. And then they restricted my account to where, I couldn't be monetized anymore. They weren't showing any of my, videos to any of the people who follow me on there. Hang on a minute. This thing is out of control. Okay. So, sorry, your messages are distracting me. But yeah, so they basically tried to censor me, and then once I figured out that Facebook was not showing my stuff to anyone, I went on there and I said, "Hey, everybody, go follow me on Parler," because obviously Parler is way better, especially for conservatives, because they don't censor anyone there. So I get an email 4 a.m. the next morning of them telling me that my account is possibly going to get shut down. And it's just funny to me because it goes into the whole thing of, I have my view and you have your view. Why can't we just agree to disagree and just leave it at that? Like, be fair with it. Like, you have a view, I have a view. Okay, cool. But the problem is that the left isn't okay with you having a different view. If you have a different view, you're racist. You're not a good person. You know, it goes into supporting Trump. I mean, if you support Trump in America, the media, BLM, every group that's on the left is going to call you a racist and whatever else. So, you know, it's just a total joke. What's the deal with Swalwell, by the way? He for those of you who don't know, I'm sure most of you know, but so he's on the house in the house. There we go. I got the chat back up on my computer. Thanks for all the donations, by the way. Um, I'll try to name y'all out. Dead Afloat, Vlog the Rally. I mean, yeah, I'll get on a live stream if I go out there for sure. But anyway, so this guy Swalwell. So guy just looks like a weirdo. I gotta say, he just looks like one of those guys that you just don't want to associate with. But anyway, so apparently there was this Chinese spy who basically seduced him, and he is basically saying that it's a whole thing that everyone on the ride is trying to throw him under the bus and all this. But it's like, you know what, man? Like if you're in the house of the U.S. government, you have access to a lot of intel. You do. How are you not searching and finding out everything about the person who you're dating or talking to or even having a conversation with? If I was in the house, I would know everything about the person that I'm going to meet with or whatever before I even did it. Because you have access to all that. So I'm just confused on how he's playing the whole, well, I didn't know about it, and it's all good. I mean, I think he might be a mole. I mean, he sits there and talks on. I'm pretty sure he farted on live TV too. So that's amazing. All right, last thing I want to talk about before I get into questions here. Um, my last video about the Civil War. A lot of people want to look the other way. Thanks, Nathan. A lot of people want to look the other way. A lot of people want to say, "Oh, this won't happen in America." A lot of people say, "Oh, well, it's something to talk about, but it won't really happen." And I want to clear up the confusion behind my thought on it, and I want to paint a very clear picture on what I think is going to happen. So first off, it's not going to be like people out in the street on both sides, ready to shoot each other. It's not going to be like that. It's going to start off personally with Trump declaring martial law, and then Antifa, BLM, any other group on the left. I personally think they are paid to do what they do because, I mean, people have to work, people have jobs. I mean, how are they out protesting all day long? It doesn't make sense. But I think they're going to get paid again to riot, protest, and get bloody. And really what it comes down to, and this is the choice that you have. And I'm going to give you my perspective on it and my plan. But if you live outside of a big city, protect your family. Gather people that are like-minded. Thanks to the pool pros. Gather people that are like-minded and have a plan. If you don't have a plan, if you don't have food stocked up, if you don't have, I mean, y'all see what they did to the Targets and the Walmarts and all that other crap. There's not going to be there's going to be a shortage on everything. And I'm not just talking about toilet paper here. I don't even know why that was a thing when this whole quarantine started. I was buying ammo and I was going into Walmart and I bought some ammo and everybody's walking out with toilet paper. It's like, dude, I can go into my backyard and use some leaves. Like it's not that big of a deal. But so back to the Civil War stuff. Sorry, I'm all over the place right now. Thanks, Chuck. So gather like-minded people, have a plan. If you don't have a plan, create one right now, because once this happens, once Trump declares martial law, it's going to hit the fan, and then it's it's just going to get nuts. Personally, I think that every major U.S. city is going to be destroyed, and I don't know if it's going to be totally flattened, like burning buildings and all that stuff. But I think it's going to be extremely violent. I think if you live in a city, you need to have an out. You need to find somebody who has land somewhere. If you're in California, you're kind of screwed unless you're like in Riverside area or like the high desert area. Um, but yeah, I mean, if you're in a big city, thanks Nathan. If you're in a big city, you need to have a plan and make sure that you have like-minded people who want to make sure that you're safe and that you want to make sure that they're safe as well. But like I said in my last video, I mean, I don't think they're going to come to small town America because I mean, I think they're stupid. I don't think they're that stupid. Thanks, Curtis. Um, but if they do, I mean, it's gonna be kind of funny. Um, so, all right, y'all. Time to answer some questions. Throw them in there. Let's see. Where would I go if I moved from America? I don't know. I mean, I'm not really serious about that. I think America is going to handle this situation. Um, my thought on this is if Trump concedes, he's going to lose. I mean, he's going to lose most of his supporters, but I don't think he's got a hair on his body that's going to get worked by the left. I mean, he's just not that guy. I'm not that guy. I know most of you aren't that guy. Uh, Thanks, Eris. But yeah, I mean, I don't, I really don't know. I mean, it's just something I said. And, if Biden gets in there and America turns into a socialist um, nation, then yeah, I mean, it's not America anymore. I mean, people are saying, "Oh man, you can't leave all this stuff." It's like, if he legalizes 10 million immigrants or more, we're never going to win an election again. Because what do you think all of those immigrants are going to do once they're citizens? They're going to vote Democrat every single time because they just gave them the American dream. They just said, okay, wherever you're from, it sucks. You can't make good money. You're making like cents on the dollar for a wage. Here's a free pass to America. And also we raised the minimum wage to $15 an hour. So, is what it is. All right, let's see. Mm, yeah, that's a good question. Um, Talking about how Biden says that he works for everyone. And his little BS speech about um, hang on here. Thanks, Balberfish. Um, I'll get to that question one sec, Balberfish. I don't even know what that means, Balberfish. Um, but yeah, I mean, he says these whole things. Oh, I'm not just the president for the left. I'm the president for uh, all Americans, and it's crap. I mean, the whole Biden, um, what's the word for it? Strategy has been written up for him. Nothing is him. It's just not him. So, gun of choice. That's that's uh, that's tough. That depends on really what we're doing. If we're going out and getting hogs, probably a 308, probably an AR-10. Um, if just shooting like at the range, probably my Lapua. That thing is awesome. So, do I reload ammo? That's a great question. I don't currently, but I have a really good buddy that I was actually just in Louisville with, and he reloads ammo, and he reloads for 338 Lapua Magnum, and then 300 or what is it? 300 Win Mag. Um, so I don't know if that's correct, but yeah. So I'm gonna start because I think it's a really good thing to know. So let's see. Do I have a favorite EDC? Got all the gun questions here. Um, probably probably a Hellcat. 6.5 Creedmoor's, it's a great round. I mean, it's huge. It's not. I don't know a whole lot about them. I don't think they're going as fast. It's like an AR. Let's see. Oh boy, y'all, what a. Okay, what do I think about the virus or the shot, the vaccine? It's funny. I was actually out dancing last night at a honky tonk out here, and I met a nurse there, and so uh, I just straight up asked her like the first like 4 seconds I was talking to her. I was like, "What do you think of this vaccine? Are you gonna take it? Are you required to take it?" And of course, like you see all these like Chinese videos of these guys getting pricked without a needle or like getting pricked by the vaccine and nothing being in it. And it's like, well, if that's not obvious, then I don't know what is. But I think it's another way for the left to control us, and I think that's going to be a whole nother can of worms because I honestly think that they're going to try to make it mandatory, especially if Biden gets in there, which he's not. But if for some hell of a reason he does, um, but I think they're going to make it mandatory, and then I think that if you don't take it, they're going to pretty much either throw you in jail or throw you in a box in the desert and quarantine you until you take it. But I'm not going to take it, and I'd like to see somebody try to make me take it. But you know, it's my body. I can do what I want with it, and I'm just not going to take the vaccine. I don't even know if I've had coronavirus yet. I'm sure I've had, but I have really bad allergies. So I have really bad allergies, and I have migraines a lot. So when I get sick, I don't know I'm sick. I mean, I just don't. Let's see. Mm, my opinion on Texas becoming its own country. That's a good question. Um, I'm not a I'm not a huge fan of disbanding the U.S. Um, but if Biden gets in there, 100%, I mean that would be awesome. That would make it so we don't have to go somewhere else and make a whole new America. We can just all go to Texas and go from there. Let's see. That's true. Texas is already its own country. I mean, you should see some of the hogs we're putting down out here. Crazy. Makes Hillary look skinny. All right, let's see. Shit. Sorry, y'all. Oh, shit. Okay, there we go. I kicked it. My bad. Thanks, Luke. Let's see. What about Chinese troops in Canada? I don't know. I don't really have a whole lot of intel on that. But I mean, if they are, they are. I mean, it's just. I mean, what are they going to do, really? I mean, if it comes down to them like coming and trying to control Americans, I mean, I don't think even how much the left hates the right, nobody's going to be good with the Chinese coming in. Like that may unite us. I mean, people are not going to be like, "Oh yeah, like there's a Chinese army walking down the street. Cool, man, I'm going to go get an autograph and get him a beer." Like no, people are not going to be good with it. But I really don't know. I really don't know if they're out there. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at this point. Let's see. Chinese saying USA citizens' guns need to be taken away. Everybody wants to take our guns away. I mean, look at look at that Santa in that mall with the kid, and the kid wanted a Nerf gun, and he's like, no, no, you can't have a Nerf gun. Those are bad. I mean, it's in our Constitution. If you don't want a gun, if you're against guns, okay? Let me talk to everybody on the left who's watching this. If you're against guns, it's okay. It's more for us. But responsible gun owners, we go hunting, we go out to the range and shoot. We show them off to chicks when we're trying to brag. I mean, that's what we do. What is the problem with that? I mean, more people are killed every year from blunt objects than guns. And I talked about this in one of my other videos, but it's like if you fall down a ladder, is there like a ladder safety course that you have to take? Like, what is there like a ladder safety like news thing? No. Thanks, E. Stewart. Santa apologized. Well, he should, because that was screwed up. They can't make a vaccine mandatory against the Constitution. Okay, well, I don't disagree with that, but at the same time, like I said, if Trump doesn't declare martial law, I think Biden will once he gets in there. If he does, especially if he's, I mean, he'll throw the Constitution out and try to create a new one, especially with Kamala in there. Let's see. Thank you, son of Da Vinci. Trump says the vaccinations will be enforced by our own military. Will I stand up to them? If it came down to that, yeah. Nobody's making me take the vaccine. So, and I feel like most of the Americans on the right feel the same way. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, if you 75 million Americans versus a million military, I mean, I love the military as much as the next guy, but I mean, if they were to try to enforce a shot in me, you're just not doing it. You're not. Pro-life or pro-choice? Come on, man. Is that a serious question for me? I am pro-life. I think if you don't know how to prepare, I feel like if you don't, if you aren't responsible, you got to own it. Own it. Pro-choice is BS. It's a way out. It's an easy way out. And if they want to talk about life on Mars, like a little organism, then a fetus is life, no matter which way you spin it. That topic will get me amped up. Christmas presents wrapped or unwrapped? Wrapped. Come on. Element of surprise. Everybody likes that. Yeah, that was a Tom McDonald quote. Let's see. Diesel or gas? Depends. I mean, I've always been a diesel truck guy, but I also have a gas truck. And that's another thing. If you aren't stocked up on gas, I would never go home, especially if you're out in the country, with less than 3/4 of a tank of gas or diesel, because that's another thing that, I mean, hell, those things might get blown up or whatever else. The left is pretty nuts. Copenhagen or Grizzly? That's a good question. So I was a Copenhagen guy for the longest time. I think I had my first dip when I was 16 years old. And I think it was at like a baseball practice or something. But yeah, I did Copenhagen Wintergreen for probably the first 3-4 years, and then I switched to Grizzly because I feel like they give you more in a can, or maybe it's just packed better. I don't know what it is. But then I kind of grew out of the flavored stuff, and that's kind of when in Texas, that's what they say, when you become a man, you grow out of flavored dip. So I just do Copenhagen Original now. That's all I do. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate you, bud. Let's see. How will patriots organize in the wake of the Civil War with mass confusion and potential left-wing radicals targeting us? I would say if you don't have something organized already, you're kind of behind the eight ball. And what I mean is not a militia or anything like that. And if you're in a militia that's online, I can tell you you've already been infiltrated. They've got spies on there. They've got government officials on there. If you're in a militia and or on any social media or anything like that. They know about you. But in terms of organizing, like I said, like-minded individuals have a plan, have a meetup spot if, stuff gets crazy. It's pretty simple. I mean, you just have a plan and you stick with it when it comes time. Oh yeah, I was going to mention. So Kyle Rittenhouse, I think his family put together a website where you can go on there and support his, legal fees and all that stuff. They're selling merch, so um, I'm probably gonna go over there and donate some money to him. But yeah, that was a crazy thing with the whole black rifle and really crazy thing. I didn't really talk about that yet, but um, originally I was just going to make one video and that was it, just because I was so surprised. And like I said before, I promoted them for a long time and, never asked for anything from them. And, on that video that I did to Grandmaster Jay, I mean, that got 2 point something million views, and, they didn't even send me a message about it or anything like that. And I'm not the type of guy who, does something for somebody and asks for something back. But then, you go and do that, and you basically just you throw all the money that you've ever received in the people's faces. I mean, that's to me why so many people were upset. Thanks, Cannonballer, Shepherds, Corrupted, Cherry. Thank you. Um, Thoughts on the Proud Boys? It's just it's what we were just talking about. It's a group of people who are organized. I mean, they come in all shapes and sizes. I was just at Knob Creek in Louisville. That's home to the Kentucky militia, and they operate like military. I mean, it just depends on who's leading it, if they're disciplined, if they know what they're doing. But it can be any size, it can be any kind of people. All right, let's get some more questions in here. 9mm or 45? Probably 45, but it really depends. That's actually a really good question, because it's not about 9mm or 45. While we're on the topic of, what do we do if there's a civil war? You carry whatever the guy next to you is carrying, or whatever the group is carrying most. Because if you're in a fight and you're shooting your gun off, and something happens, you lose a mag, or somebody goes down and they have 3 mags, you want to be shooting the same caliber as them. That way there's even if it's not the same gun, you're just taking ammo. So I don't really care though. Besides that, I mean, they're both good rounds. Thanks, our Marchione. Thanks, Scott. What branch of the armed forces were you in? I was not in the military. I discussed that in the video that I talked about, just kind of my life. And it's on my channel if y'all want to go watch it. But I basically made the decision when I was 18. I was a baseball player for a long time. I was super good. I ended up tearing my elbow. And at that point, it was basically between the military and rodeoing. And so I decided to rodeo, and did that for quite a while, and was pretty good. I was a bulldogger and a tie down roper, and won a few buckles here and there. But back then I just didn't have any work ethic, and I was focused on all the wrong priorities in life. But I could have been pretty good. But if you don't have a lot of money rodeoing, you're not going to go to NFR or any of that stuff. You got to have money behind you. Let's see. Do you think without Grandmaster Jay, the NFAC will break up? That depends. I mean, it depends on what kind of leadership they have. That's a good question. Let me finish this one. Good question, Cannonballer. But I don't know. I mean, it depends what kind of leadership they have below Grandmaster Jay. Grandmaster Jay, in my opinion, is not a good leader. I think he shoots off the cuff all the time with the stuff that he says. And the crazy thing is when he went on his lives and all that other stuff, he would just say the most outrageous things. Like when he was doing that weapon demonstration where he banged it down and said, "The weapon has fired." It's like, man, like, do you think people aren't going to see this stuff? Like, but I don't know. I mean, I think if they have another person who's a decent leader in there, I'm sure they'll stay together. Okay, let me get to this question. This is a good one. Cannonballer, how many people threaten you over the internet every day, and do you ever respond? So when I was, when all like the riots were going on and all that stuff, and I was making videos about it, I would get probably 10 Instagram messages a day that were threats, and then I would get probably 10 to 12 emails. And the answer is no. I don't respond because what is that going to do for me? I mean, if somebody wants to threaten me and somebody shows up on my front door or, at my place in the country, I mean, what's there to talk about? I mean, you either have a problem with me and we're going to handle it however you see fit, or, that's it. But there's no reason to talk about it. I mean, I think it comes with the job and the territory of what I talk about and what I'm personally about and how America is and the climate right now. I mean, people hate patriots. They just hate us. So, but I have no problem with that. I'm okay with being hated. So, but really good question. Yeah, all the time. All the time. Let's see. Let's see. Best city in Texas to like move to, or if you're a liberal though, we don't want you. That's a crazy thing. So a lot of people complain about people moving to Texas. But the reality is we need more conservatives here because there are so many liberal people moving to Texas. I mean, look at the election this year. I don't know if the stats were juked this year in Texas, but I mean, look at how close it was. I mean, we need more conservatives, or we need more conservatives to vote, one or the other. But as far as cities go, I'm a huge fan of Fort Worth, San Antonio. I mean, anywhere on the outskirts of there. I mean, those are my personal opinions. But if you want to be like closer to Louisiana, there's a lot of good places out there, especially if you want to get some crocodiles or alligators, whichever one's out there. Thanks, Chris. Still have that rifle scope mount for the Picatinny rod. No use for it, along with Weaver. Let's see. Yeah, we got a lot of Fort Worth people on here. I love it up there. Good place, man. All right, guys, I got time for a few more questions. Going to DC. Yeah, I'm going to try to, honestly. I was going to do a meetup at Invader's compound I was going to try to do the first week in January, but I may be going to DC. And my friends with the Hodge twins, I respect them a lot. You guys think that I get a lot of hate? Oh, I can't imagine how much they get. But I've never met them. I haven't really talked to them. Um, but but yeah, I mean they seem like pretty good guys. So let's see. Yeah, I know the NFR was in Texas this year. It's great, but I don't know, man. I don't think it can be better than Vegas. I mean, the whole scene is just so awesome there. Plan of action if someone or a group comes after you. I'm not going to share that, but I always have a plan, and that's how you should be too. And it's not even about if somebody comes after me or threatens me or any of that. It's just I like to be prepared for any situation that is thrown at me. So thanks, the patriotic nobody. Interesting name. That's funny. So I'm probably the next video I'm coming out with. Adam Calhoun just said he's going to run for president in 2024. I think I'm going to be his running mate. Yeah, we can duke it out on who's going to be president, and who's going to be vice president. But he's got a few years on me in terms of age, so I think I'd probably win that fight. I'm kidding. No, he's a really good dude as well. I have a lot of respect for Adam, and he's his story is pretty awesome. A lot of respect for him. Thanks, Jason. Beer or whiskey? I gave up beer 4 years ago. I know it's crazy, but it like made my face fat. It like made me super. I mean, I'm training for an Ironman right now. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's a marathon, 156-mile bike ride, and a 2.5-mile swim, I think, all in one day. So yeah, what I put in my body right now is about as clean as you can get. But usually I like whiskey. Yeah. Have I ever traveled outside of the U.S.? Yeah, I've been. Let's see. Oh man, I've been to Spain. I've been to Italy. I've been to Germany, Ireland, Mexico. Obviously, I was just in Cancun, I think in June. But yeah, I'll have to go look at my passport. Thanks, Brandon. I love all the haters on here, man. Oh, it's funny. It's funny on YouTube because people think. I gotta tell you, if any of y'all are on here that have a channel, you've got to let stuff just run off your back, because no matter how many people like you, or no matter what your stuff is about, you're just going to have people who want to sit on a computer and work their fingers out and hate on you. But that's just, I mean, it's just life, Thick skin, that's right. All right, let's see. I like these. I'm gonna try to do one of these every week. Like I said, this is pretty cool. Let's see. It's just hard to see through all the messages. What is my most favorite food? Oh, when I'm not training for an Ironman, probably steak, potatoes, and corn. Good old country boy. You're drinking Black Rifle coffee and watching this? Good for you, man. Yeah. I personally am an Invader guy because they don't donate money to gun grabbers and Democrats, but you know, enjoy your coffee. Yeah, good. Uh, let's see. All right. I'll answer a few more questions. Sorry, Robert. Robert Boone, these things are coming in like crazy. Yeah, guys, Invader coffees. I mean, if we're just talking coffee, Invader coffee is air roasted. Less than 1% of coffee in the world is air roasted. So it's not me just being like, hey guys, buy this coffee because they're like veterans and they're cool and all this. No. No, it's good coffee. I'm not gonna promote a product to y'all. That's crap. I'm not. Let's see. Thanks, Dylan. How old am I? I'm 27. Space Lord, I hate you. You didn't tell my mom thanks for breakfast. You know, man, had to run out the door really quickly. So, but I mean, I'll see her later tonight, so I'll thank her then. How tall am I? I'm 6'2", 6'3", in between those. Man, we're getting all sorts of questions. How much do you weigh right now? I'm about 215. Thoughts on weed? Not a drug guy. Just not. I don't judge people who use it. But I think I think anything that affects your brain and takes you into a different state of mind, it's probably not the best thing. But like I said, I don't judge people for it. My max deadlift, I pulled 600 about a year and a half ago, but I don't really lift heavy anymore. I just don't. It's cool to get it on video and show it off, but it's really not needed. I mean, you lift heavy to strengthen your skeletal system. I think that's what they call it. I don't know. That may be wrong, but you don't need that much weight to do that. So let's see. Yes, I'm all natural. I do not take steroids. I can't even use whey protein because I'm allergic to it. So I have to use bone broth protein, which is gross. But as far as my workouts go, running about 50 miles a week right now, which is a little bit nuts. And lift pretty much every day. So basically, how it goes is Monday I do chest and triceps. Tuesday I do back and buys. Wednesday I think I do shoulders, and then I just repeat it. And then I do a run every other day to train, and then I get swimming and biking in. Let's see. All right, a couple more questions, then we got to hop off here. I got to go back to see that guy's mom that made me breakfast, apparently. As far as hunting in Texas goes, man, I would say it just depends on what you're looking for. Exotics you can pretty much get wherever. Thanks, VR. Um, But as far as hogs, yeah, I would say Central Texas, South Texas. We've got some big ones out here. Everybody likes a pork butt. Let's see. That's a good question to end with. Favorite truck brand. I'm really not a stickler on that. Anything American, obviously, but I've owned Ford, Dodge or Ram, and Chevy, and so there's good and bad things about all of them, but I'm not really a stickler. Okay, one more because that was a short one. Oh, man. Some of these comments, man, this is good. All right, let's see. Was it right for APD to use their horses for crowd controlling Antifa? Well, those horses that they have are bomb proof. I mean, literally, you can shoot guns off next to them. You can, I mean, literally, probably if a bomb went off, they'd be cool. There's some video on the internet of some chick going up and trying to slap the ass of one of them, and it just sidekicks her and throws her into the dirt. But all right, y'all. Hey, I really appreciate y'all. This has been an amazing experience for me. I'm gonna try to do one of these every week, and we'll go from there. But like I said, have a plan, be prepared. For those of you who think that something bad in America can't happen or won't happen, I recommend that you do your research and not just listen to me, but do your own research and go out and gather intel on the city that you live in, and go out in the middle of the night and see the type of activity that's going on, because these people have to get bricks and rocks and all that from somewhere. So, all right, y'all. Really appreciate it, and we'll do another one next week. Alrighty.